All right, we're going to talk about ways to name muscles. Are you ready? Standards, objectives, pause it, peruse it. Okay, remember there are three main types of muscle tissue. We have skeletal muscle that's voluntary, it's attached to bones with tendons, and it's striated. You can see stripes. And also they have multiple nuclei per cell, per muscle fiber. Cardiac muscle tissue is only found in the heart. It's also striated, but you can see those intercalated discs, those connections between cells, but this is involuntary. And then smooth muscle, we find in the walls of organs, the walls of blood vessels, no striations, hence the name smooth, and these are also involuntary. Okay, skeletal muscles are attached to bones with tendons, okay, that dense connective tissue that is very strong. There are over 650 muscles in the human body, but don't worry, the list that you're going to have to know is much shorter than that. First, let's talk about the ways that muscles are classified and named. Muscles can be named by shape. Deltoid, it's triangular, like a delta, the Greek letter delta. Trapezius, shocking, trapezoid shaped. Orbicularis means circular. We have orbicularis oris and we have orbicularis oculi. LATISSIMUS, wide. Okay, so you can see that back muscle, how wide it is. And the dorsal part, that's location. SERRATUS, saw-toothed. So you can see it's like serrated. Muscles can be named by the number of origins. Biceps, 2 origins, like biceps brachii. Brachii's location, arm. Triceps, triceps brachii. Triceps has 3 heads. Triceps brachii, arm. And then we have quadriceps. Quadriceps is 4 origins, and the quadriceps is actually 4 separate muscles, and each of those that connects for a separate origin is going to be named with a different name. And you can see the names here. Some of them you'll have to know. Muscles can be named by the location, the part of the body that's actually covered by the muscle. So tibialis anterior covers the tibia. Frontalis covers the frontal bone, your forehead. Muscles can be named by the location, like a general location or direction. So lateralis, away from the midline. So the vastus lateralis, part of the quadriceps, is lateral. Sub means underneath, like subclavius, under the clavicle. Muscles can be named by the direction of the muscle fibers relative to midline, okay? So we have rectus, that means parallel. So rectus abdominis, your 6-pack, is parallel to that midline. Transverse, transverse means perpendicular. So the transversus abdominis goes perpendicular to that midline. Oblique, oblique is at an angle, roughly a 45-degree angle. So the external obliques along the lateral side of your abdomen are at an angle. Muscles can be named by their relative size. So maximus, biggest, the gluteus maximus. There's also the gluteus medius and the gluteus minimus. Longus, longest, so the palmaris longus, which we'll talk about, is one of those muscles. Major, large size, so the pectoralis major in your chest, a big muscle. Muscles can be named by the location of the origin or the location of the insertion, or both. So the sternocleidomastoid, okay, one of the origins is on the sternum, one of the origins is on the clavicle, and the insertion is on the temporal bone at a point called the mastoid process. So sternocleidomastoid. Muscles can be named by the function or the action of the muscle. So flexion. So the flexor carpi radialis obviously does flexion, and carpi, it's wrist, radialis, the radius. So it gives you a lot of information. Extension. So the extensor digitorum longus. So that gives you a lot of information. It extends the digits and it's a long muscle. Adduction. So adduction, it performs that motion. So remember, this is abduction, adduction. So adduction would be bringing the leg back in, and adductor longus, so you can see it is a long muscle. Let's talk about some unique muscles. So the largest muscle is the gluteus maximus. The smallest muscle is the stapedius. It attaches to the stapes in your middle ear, and it's less than 2 millimeters long. The longest muscle is the sartorius. It wraps from, you can see, from near your coxal, near your hip area, all the way past your knee. It allows us to sit crisscross applesauce. The muscle that exerts the most pressure is the masseter. Okay? It can close the jaw with a force as great as 200 pounds. The muscle that puts out the most force is the soleus. It constantly pulls against gravity to keep us upright. Thank goodness. The most injured muscle is the hamstring, which is actually a group of 3 muscles. The hardest working muscle is the heart. It pumps out at least 2,500 gallons of blood per day, and it beats over 3 billion times in our life. In class, we have a blue kit. But that's it. Those are some ways to name muscles, and hopefully you learned something new.